Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. The long range meta here after the season 3 reloaded update is one of the more competitive ones that we've seen in some time. A lot of the updates and weapon tuning balances that we got with season 3 reloaded directly affected the long range meta in the form of making weapons more competitive. If you are landing some shots to the body, they're going to do less damage. Basically, it's making them be more effective at that. So long range meta got even more competitive, and today we're breaking down the best of the best weapons for those specific engagements. We're starting first with the powerhouse itself, the RAAL LMG. This thing is the most powerful heavy hitting weapon in the game. Its drawbacks though obviously being the fact that it's an LMG, so it's super slow and its recoil is not super ideal. So this setup is largely there to counteract the recoil, make it as easy to use as possible. That way when you land your shots, you are going to absolutely erase everyone. So first up here, you're going to see this on the vast majority of weapons in this video, AMOT V4 Optic. However, when it comes down to optics, you always want to use what you are the most comfortable with. So if there's one you like more, always go ahead and use that. But be sure to tune for the furthest eye position and faster ADS. I go for the Stip 40 rear grip. This is all out control here. We're tuning for better steadiness and stability on that. The Dune underbarrel also going to be for all out control, recoil, steadiness, attacks horizontal and vertical. Then we tune for better stability and stabilization on that. The Rhino barrel going to give us even more control, and then some bullet velocity on there, some better velocity in general. That's going to make up partially for not having high velocity on here. It won't be a one-to-one replacement, but at least it's something. And then lastly, I go for the CP90 compensator here, better vertical and horizontal control as well. Then we tune for the better gun kick control and stabilization. So like I said, we're getting this to be as low recoil as possible. It's still going to have recoil because it's very noticeable on this gun, but this will make it a bit easier so you can absolutely fry enemies. RAAL really comes down to being the most powerful gun in the game, hence why it's still in the long range meta even after several nerfs. Now on the contrary, we've got another LMG. This is the Sakin MG38, but instead of being super high recoil and insane damage like the RAAL, this one is lower damage but almost no recoil. This setup in particular is so easy to use. So you've got the polar opposites there in the LMG category, right? Both though are in the long range meta as it stands. So once more, we got the AMOT V4 for the eye position, faster ADS, of course. Stip 40 rear grip here as well. Better control, steadiness, and stability with the tunes on there. Edge 47 underbarrel is really all you need in this case because the recoil is so simple. You get very minimal cons out of this while still getting some better stability. We tune for even better stability and stabilization. Now, personally, I go for Sakin Tread 40 here just to make things as easy as possible. That said, if you wanted to stay off the compass and whatnot, you could switch over to the Polar Fire S, the Talon, the Zulu even. There's some alternatives there if you'd prefer a suppressor, and all those are great choices as well. There's no wrong answer here. This just makes the gun so easy, it's almost laughable, right? Gun kick control and stabilization on those tunes. And then lastly, Silver Series barrel, sort of the all-in-one here. Better velocity, better range, better control. You'll love to see that out of just one specific attachment. We go for better range and steadiness on the tunes for that one. So Sakin Tread 40 still honestly is one of the better options in the long range meta because it's just low risk, high reward, and you love to see that. Now, one of my favorite choices right now in the long range meta is the M13. This again is a very easy weapon to use. The recoil here is very minimal, and it's got a great TTK over long range. That's kind of the perfect recipe, if you will, right? So here's setup is going to be pretty basic. AMOT V4, yet again, no surprises there. 60 round extended mag is sort of a must-have here because the fire rate is so fast. I would never go for 45. That's just going to be too much reloading here and there. High velocity ammo for that better hit reg consistency over long range just makes the gun easier to use. Better velocity and range on the tunes there. I don't feel like you need an underbarrel here because it is so easy. Instead, I go for the Echelon barrel. Better range, velocity, and control, the 3-in-1 combo yet again. We go for better range and steadiness on those tunes. And then lastly, Echoless 80 suppressor, better velocity, better ADS speed on the tunes for that. On top of the better velocity and better range you're already getting out of the base attachments. So M13, an absolute top tier choice right now. One of my most used guns in the game, whether I'm playing ranked or just core Warzone right now. Now, if you're looking for a powerhouse out of the rifle category, that's where the Kastov 7.62 comes into play, right? This thing, again, just like the RAAL, has a little bit more recoil, not to the RAAL's extent, but some compared to the other rifles, especially the ones that we got on this list, which for the most part are pretty low recoil, but this thing brings the power. If you're able to land shots consistently with this, you're gonna fry as well. This setup, again, largely built around control. AMOT V4, once more, no surprises there. 40 round extended mag is the max here, but the fire rate's a bit slower, so you don't have to worry too much about reloading, even though it is a smaller magazine. High velocity ammo here is pretty clutch because the base velocity on the 7.62 is kind of not all that great, right? Better velocity, better range on the tunes there. Ripper underbarrel for that max stability, basically, or tuning for even better stability and stabilization there. Then lastly, I go for the Talon, get some added control, added velocity, added range on this all in one. Better velocity and ADS speed on the tunes. So bit slower, bit heavier for a rifle, but it is going to absolutely rip through enemies. It's got great damage over range. And of course, we got to talk about the newly buffed Lachmann 5.56. I have been loving this thing recently. We of course just covered this a few days back in its own dedicated video. It's basically no recoil. I'd say it's the easiest gun to use in the game right now, and its TTK over range is phenomenal, especially when you factor in accuracy versus other weapons. This thing's going to come out on top 9 times out of 10. AMOD V4 yet again. We got the 40 round extended mag on here. You could also jump up to 60 if you want. I go overkill on the control. I run the Ripper 56 here as well. That said, if you're very confident in your shot, you find this gun almost too easy to use, drop the Ripper underbarrel, throw in high velocity, make it more consistent over range. Again, here we're obviously going for stabilization and stability. We got Echoless 80 suppressor here as well, better velocity and ADS speed on those tunes. Then the wrap barrel, the 3-in-1 combo, yet again, velocity, range, control, all helping out there. We go for better range, better recoil on the tunes for that one. Probably my favorite weapon post update, just because it's fresh, because we really haven't been using this too much since launch, and it's just so consistent at all ranges, especially though in the long range. Now, as we continue on through our last couple of weapons here, quick reminder, if you guys are new to the channel, on a daily basis, I'm your one-stop shop for all things going on in COD, whether it's news, updates, meta breakdowns, you name it, it is all right here. So feel free to hit that subscribe button, turn on those post notifications to always stay up to date. And if you guys enjoy the video, if you find it helpful, let me know by dropping a like on it as well, would be seriously appreciated. Now, next up here, we've got the M4, old reliable as I like to call it, easy to use, really aggressive and versatile, great long range TTK. You can't go wrong with this thing, right? Surprise, surprise, yet again, we are in fact using the AMOD V4. I go for the 45 round mag to keep it a bit more aggressive than 60, but there's no wrong answer here. As always, if you want the larger magazine, feel free to go for that. High velocity ammo here with that better velocity and better range tunes equipped on that. No need for an underbarrel yet again, it's just so easy to use. Instead, I opt for the high tower barrel, better range, better velocity, better control, the 3-in-1 combo once more, better range and steadiness on those tunes. Then I go for Harbinger here just for that some little bit of added extra recoil there, but then also mainly the better velocity and better range as well. We go for better velocity and ADS speeds on the tunes for that one. Been a beast since day one, still a beast here in Season 3 Reloaded. Another one of my favorites is the TAC 56, just because it feels so fun to use. This one reminds me a lot of like the Scar from back in the MW2 days, one of my all-time favorite guns. I also love the fact that I can use an iron sight here and it's still super effective over the medium and long range engagements, right? Because it's just a super clean iron sight. Now, if you wanted to use an optic, feel free to, you know, drop a rear grip or something for that. But for me, this setup works so well because it's easy to use and it's nice and clean and precise. Combat rear grip, straight up better control, better stability and steadiness there. 40 round extended mag, yet again though, if you want to jump up to 60, you absolutely could do so, no harm in that. High velocity ammo with the better range and velocity tunes on there as always. Edge 47 on here yet again for the better stabilization and stability. If you really wanted to go overkill, you could jump up to Ripper as well if you wanted to. And then also we got the Harbinger D20 suppressor, better recoil, better velocity, better range on here. 3 great pros, obviously, for long-range engagements, better velocity and ADS speeds on the tunes. You can see there's quite a pattern going on here and what attachments are the most important for all of our long-range builds. Now, of course, we couldn't go talking about the long-range meta and not bring up the ISO Hemlock. Yes, it caught a nerf with Season 3 Reloaded, but it's still absolutely a top-tier choice, mainly because it also is so easy to use. Minimal recoil here means in turn, even though it's way less powerful than a 7.62 or a RAAL, you're gonna land more shots with this and your realistic TTK will be right there next to those. AMOD V4 yet again, high velocity ammo yet again. 45 round mag is the max here, so of course we're going to be running that. We got the Fielder T50 barrel, better range, velocity, control, all in one yet again, range and steadiness on those tunes. And then Harbinger D20, you could go either for smoothness or ADS speed, but then also better velocity on the tunes for that. Really consistent weapon, even post nerf, it's absolutely frying. And then lastly, we've got the Cronen Squall, and this is quite frankly the most dominant weapon in the game right now, if you can control it. It's got some rough recoil, which is why this setup is a bit different and mainly attacking recoil, so we can make it as easy to use as possible. And when you land your shots, this thing is unstoppable. It is so powerful. AMOT V4, yet again, 50 round extended mag. High velocity ammo, which is something that I've sort of been toying with back and forth. I really like the feel of this because obviously the added velocity is so good for mid to long range and making it more reliable and more consistent. That said, the more recoil control you can have, the better. So having a lock grip precision or ripper on here is also clutch. So I've kind of gone back and forth between that and high velocity. I don't think there's a wrong answer. It's just more so your level of comfortability with the weapon. I do go for Sakin Tread 40 here, better vertical and horizontal control, better gun kick and stabilization there on the tunes. Then also the HR 6.8 barrel, better range, velocity, and control. Yet again, you love to see it. Better range and steadiness on the tunes for that one. So bit of a different setup, one that is mainly control based, but it works well. I've been using this a lot in ranked and really liking the feel of that. And that being said, that is the long range meta broken down here in season 3.5. If you guys enjoyed the video, let me know by dropping a like on it. And if you're new here, feel free to hit that subscribe button, turn on those post notifications to always stay up to date with all things going on in COD. But once again, thank you so much for tuning in. And until next time, take it easy, have an awesome rest of your day, and I will catch you guys later. Peace out.